Hey everyone, it's Sweet Kid here, and a new season CSR2 has just dropped, and with that, a new race pass has come to the game. And unfortunately, it's not a very fantastic race pass. Unfortunately, I mean, Natural Motion has kind of been spoiling us with pretty good race passes over the past, I would say, two of them have been pretty good, two or three. But this one at least has some usable cars. They aren't very good, but at least it's something you can get out of it. And before I jump into it, I just want to talk about my little journey to being an actor. I finally got cast in something. It's about supposedly this construction worker who lost a finger on the job, and I was cast as his employer. A bit of a strange move, I would say, given that my screen age is only about 19, 20. Some people say I look about 17 or 18 even. But then again, I'm really excited to play this part. So I will talk about it further when I finish filming. It will be this Sunday. So that's it. That's out of the way. Let's get to the race pass. And unfortunately, as I said, the cars aren't just very good. So let's talk about the free ones. And then I'll talk about the paid ones. Starting with the free tier, the one you should get the most would be the Ford GT. The Ford GT is actually a decent life racer. If you tune it just right, it can beat Dyno to quite a degree. To my knowledge, I believe it can beat Dyno by about half a second, which is almost unheard of by anything in this game. So I would definitely pick that. And being a Ford, you can easily get parts from that for stripping the Fiesta, stripping the Mustang, and whatever other Fords you see so often in this game. So that's a first choice, the Ford GT. The one you should pick after that would be the Corvette ZR1. The Corvette, honestly, it's not a very good life racer. However, it can beat Dyno to quite a big degree. So if you tune it to a minus 999 Evo tune, yes, it can be very good. But besides that, it cannot get low PP high Evo. And as such, I would say if you have the Ford, take the Corvette if you don't have it already. Plus, the Corvette seems to get used in some events like showdowns and perhaps, and I'm using this quite loosely, perhaps American Road Trip whenever it comes. And of course, the third car, the Challenger SRT Demon, that is a terrible car. Don't ever pick that unless you really don't have that car and you already have the GT and the Corvette. Else, I would say pick the GT first, the Corvette second, and the last resort, the Challenger. So that's the free tier out of the way. Let's look at the paid tier. Now, it's a bit tricky because I don't actually know about this Jesco, the white one. I know the Draco Red, the red colored Jesco is probably still the PP to Evo ratio king in this game, getting over 3,000 Evo if you tune it properly. Then again, I've personally raced the Imola Roadster several times in live racing, and I found it to be quite a formidable opponent, even up against my M5 sedan, which I really consider quite a godly live racer by my standards. So personally, if I look at the gearing and everything, the first car I'll pick is the Imola. Yes, it's a Pagani. It's going to be a bit hard to get parts for it because you can't buy Pagani parts. You have to either strip them or use bronze keys. But then again, this is quite a promising car. And usually, I don't know, the recent Paganis have been pretty good, especially with the YYR Roadster, the Utopia, and the Purple Star being the Utopia Carbon Edition. So if we look at that and we apply it to this is the one you are going to have to get. It's a good car, and like I said, if it can compete with my M5, it's worthy of being picked. So that would be my first choice. Next up, the Koenigsegg Jesco. The reason I wouldn't pick this as much is, first of all, there is another Jesco, the orange one, that's in collections. This one isn't. As a result, this one is kind of a waste of parts unless you really have that and you really have nothing better to upgrade and you're working on this one. Another thing I will note is that the Jescos, all of them, being this one, the orange one, and the Draco Red, have a lot of gears. And cars with a lot of gears are personally not to my liking because it's more involved to drive the car to its full potential. Whereas with a car with fewer gears, like the Imola, you're going to have an easier time driving it. So as a result, Imola gets the leg up over the Jesko. Also, the Jesko takes Koenigsegg parts, and Koenigsegg parts are also just as hard to obtain as Pagani parts. But with Koenigsegg having more good live racers, I would say try and focus on the few good live racers like the Regera, the Jesko Draco Red, and the what's it one called, the CC850 that came in the last race pass. Those are really worth upgrading. To me, this one's not. And of course, the final car you should pick if you don't have any would be the Chiron Pure Sport. The Chiron, it's not a good live racer in the fact it cannot get low PP high evo. However, this car is quite capable in the sense it can beat dyno, and that's what makes this car good in a sense. I have raced it. I have lost 200k against it, shamefully, but I will admit it can beat dyno, and it's worth considering if that's your style of play. It's not mine, so I will not be picking that, although I have to admit it looks quite good. Personally, I will be taking the Imola Roadster because this was a paid car during one of the Supercar Science events, and I didn't buy it. So with this, I can actually have another good live racer in my fleet and participate in the event when it comes around again. So that's it. That wraps up my thoughts on the race pass and the 6 different cars you can pick. So my thoughts on it, it's a bit disappointing, honestly, like I brought up, but then again, Natural Motion has kind of spoiled us with the recent 2 race passes, or 3, I cannot remember, but then again, I'm pretty satisfied that you can at least get the Ford GT if you're a free player, and if you're paying, you can pick from either the Jesko, which I don't recommend, or the Imola Roadster, which I do recommend. So still, not too bad. So with that said, thank you so much for listening to my race pass opinions, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you next time.